I have my sourdough starter, and I froze this back in October. It's now January. It had been sitting in my fridge for a long time before I froze it, and it was just taking up a lot of space. I wasn't using it, so I decided to freeze it, and I've got it out now. We are going to revive this. It has been sitting on the counter all night, and it is, you can see now that it moves, it is thawed out. It's not frozen solid anymore. And what I'm going to do, save our bats. I'm going to take it from this little jar into this big jar. This is a 1/2 gallon mason jar. And I'm going to feed it probably the same amount of flour as starter that I have in here, and give it some water and give it a mix. And I'm going to leave it out on the countertop and let it do its thing until tomorrow, and then I will feed it again. And I may discard some tomorrow so I don't get a huge buildup of it. We're gonna do that for a few days, and then we're going to make a loaf of bread with this and see how it bakes up. Rad Power Bite.
What does this say?
Dig Washington.
Wait, this one says Dig Washington.
No, the one Clayton just showed me says Dig
This one?
Washington. The one, yeah.
Mom, are these all for us?
Yep.
From here. Actually, I like the hunting one.
I have a pretty laid back approach to my sourdough. I don't measure the flour or the water. I just put some in there, as much as I think is what it needs, and then I will mix it up. If it's too thick, I add a bit more water. If it's too runny, I add some more flour. And I just try to get it to where it's kind of about a little bit thinner than a pancake batter is how I like to keep my starter. I have heard that if you have a thicker starter, it tends to do better, but I keep mine where it's pourable, but it's not runny. I also do not keep the lid tight on this. You want to put the lid on to protect it from anything getting into the jar, but you don't want to tighten it up because it needs to be able to release the gases so they don't build up inside of the jar. Good morning. It is Saturday morning here, and we are going to be heading out the door here in just a little bit for a few basketball games. I'm getting ready to make some breakfast, and this afternoon we're expecting a big winter storm. So we've been preparing for that. I just got done making one batch of boiled eggs in my egg cooker. I'm gonna get those out and start another batch so that those will be done before we leave. Those are easy things that are a good source of protein that we can eat if the power goes out. And on the way home from the basketball games, I went shopping yesterday, but I didn't grab any like paper plates and water bottles. So I'm gonna stop and grab some paper plates and some water bottles, and that way we have those just in case we need them. I think if the power goes out, we still have water because they have generators since we're on the city water, but I can't guarantee that, so I'm gonna get some water bottles for us and we can just have them on hand in case we need them. So I'm gonna get breakfast started. We're just gonna have some breakfast burritos, try to use up the sausage and the hash browns that I've got in the fridge, and then I'm gonna get some more eggs going and feed my sourdough starter. I love this little egg steamer. It makes a dozen eggs at a time, and it has some little inserts that you can cook eggs differently than boiled, but this is how we enjoy them, so I always just make boiled eggs. But it's so easy to do. You just poke a hole in the end of your egg with the little tool that comes with the steamer, and then you put them in there. And I actually used to set a timer because I didn't realize that it has an internal timer. So once you turn it on, it starts counting down, and then when it's done, it plays music. One day I was at my computer doing some work, and I was making boiled eggs, and all of a sudden I kept hearing this song playing, and I got up finally to see what it was because no one was paying attention to it, and I didn't know if it was one of the kids' like electronic things or what was making the noise. So I jumped up to see what it was, and it turns out it was my egg cooker, and it has an internal timer where it plays music so that you know that the eggs are done cooking and you can come shut it off. And then I transfer my eggs straight into the refrigerator when they are done, and they peel so wonderfully and easy. I've never had any problems, and it just makes really, really good boiled eggs. I will leave a link for the cooker that I have down in the description box if that's something you're interested in. It has been a huge time saver and a blessing. It even makes it easy for the kids to make some boiled eggs if I need them to, and just a really helpful tool that I have in my kitchen. For breakfast burritos, Austin and I eat our burritos with an egg wrap on the outside of them, and I like to have shredded cheese with mine. He likes to have American cheese in his, and then the kids will just have theirs on tortillas, and some of them like cheese, some of them don't, and then sometimes we also put some salsa. But this has become one of my most favorite breakfasts, and it's really easy to throw together in the mornings. For lunch, when we got home from the basketball games, I made some little smokies. I just cut these in half and fried them in butter. And I also made a pot of rice, and I cooked some black beans in a separate pan because not everyone likes the black beans. But this is a simple meal that we all love and is fairly carnivore friendly, eating just the smokies. It is almost 3 o'clock now. We were gone for much longer than we thought we would be. We'd stopped at the store, and it was crazy packed. I'll put a picture here. The checkout lines were to the very back of the store. Every single line. It was so full of people. So it took a lot longer than I thought it was going to, just to grab paper plates and eggs was the only things I got. But then we had lunch, and we've got the person that we bought the stove from. He's coming over to hopefully fix it. The oven doesn't want to light, so he's gonna bring some parts over and put in a new igniter, which is the thing that I had to replace in ours in Colorado. So he'll be here pretty soon. But the weather is cold and dreary outside. It is was sprinkling a little bit. I don't know if it really is anymore, but it's definitely cold and the storm is moving in. Alright, it's 6:30 now. We're having dinner. We're just eating leftovers. Coulter's cooking the rest of the hash browns, and I'm getting ready to make some crab rangoon wraps for myself. The kids had breakfast burritos and pickles. And we are just staying warm in here, watching YouTube. I thought I would show you at least a couple channels that our family enjoys watching. Alright, so we watch Dude Perfect often.
3 teams, each with their own special.
We also like to watch Crunch Labs. Over there. We like to watch the Dangy Bros. And then, can you go to Outdoor Boys?
Right there.
These are both Outdoor Boys. This is a channel we enjoy watching as well. So Hang Time is another channel that we really like to watch. And then Kendall Gray Is he on there anywhere? There, Kendall Gray is another channel that we enjoy watching.
Don't forget about this one, Mom.
And then, oh, this is Crispin's channel. He's got several shorts up there. It's called 3 Points. This is what it looks like. David Lopez is another channel that we like to watch. He does some pretty funny videos. Team Edge. We like to watch Team Edge as well. Daniel LaBelle. He's a funny guy too. We like to watch him. Let's move over here. That's Daniel LaBelle. And then Silas Estrada is another channel we like to watch. This is my oldest son's best friend in Colorado. And so we enjoy watching his videos as a way to keep up with them. So those are some of the channels that we enjoy watching. They have good, clean material and videos, and usually they are funny or educational, and it's just things that our family really enjoys. Austin made himself some carnivore ice cream for dinner on this day. It was just vanilla flavor, and I think he added a bit of protein powder in it. Okay, it's 9:15. We are headed to bed. I'm gonna peek out the window here just to see what the weather looks like outside. See what the roads are looking like. They have canceled church for tomorrow, so we won't be going anywhere, which is a good thing. Let me turn the camera around and show you. Well, it's hard to tell on the camera, but everything is a layer of ice. You can see the layer of ice on the road, on top of the car. It's quite interesting. I've not seen that before. You can literally see where the ice is on the road. Peek out the front door. It's cold out there, but we'll see if we can see anything out here. Anyway, it's hard to see in the camera, but everything is ice. Alright, so I can't see very well out there, but it'll still be icy in the morning, and it may even be snow covered. We will see what the snow does, but I'm gonna head to bed so I see you guys in the morning. It is about 6 o'clock in the morning, and we've got some snow out there, and it looks like it's definitely still snowing. I think it's supposed to snow most of the day, but basically looks like a lot of ice with a little bit of snow, which could be a bad combination for these trees. So we'll just have to wait and see how the day plays out, but I'm gonna get myself some coffee and read my Bible for a bit until everyone else starts waking up. And I did feed my starter yesterday. I didn't do any raising, still at the same level. It needs fed. It's got some hooch on top, but it smells good, and so I think it's gonna be just fine. But I'm gonna feed this first thing this morning, try to feed it again this afternoon, and do 2 feedings a day until it is ready to use. For Christmas, my mother-in-law got a new KitchenAid mixer with a bigger bowl and a bigger motor, because this one that I have here, which she gave me, sounds like it is gonna poop out pretty soon. The motor really wears down whenever you've got something thick that you're mixing, but I told her I was happy to take it home with me and use it until it is done working. And I really enjoyed having this smaller mixer on my countertop where I can just leave it sit there, plug it in when I need it, and mix up whatever it is that I need. I do like my Bosch mixer, but I miss having my KitchenAid that I had before, and so I am thankful to have another one on my counter again. For breakfast on this Sunday morning, I am serving the kids this leftover pumpkin bread that I had made the day before. They didn't care for it just like this, which I don't understand why. It's my normal recipe that I always make, and they love it every time I make it. But this time, for some reason, they didn't like it as much, and so I decided to make just some basic frosting to go on top of it and turn it into a breakfast cake. And so I mixed some powdered sugar and some half and half and some vanilla with my mixer, and then I just poured that on top of the pumpkin bread, and the kids enjoyed it like this, of course, because it's got more sugar on it. But next time, I think when I make this pumpkin bread, I'll try to make it a bit sweeter by adding a little more sugar into it, and then that way I don't need the frosting on top. But I did make this pumpkin bread with some half fresh ground flour and half all-purpose flour. And then after breakfast, we enjoyed a sermon together as a family and did that for our morning worship.
Now he serves as the Ligonier Ministries teaching fellow and the Chancellor's Professor of Systematic.
And I think that is often true of Christians. The very name of standards, but they defend themselves because they have a right not only to...
Alright, I'm gonna work on some lunch. Kaylee, my oldest daughter, got these from her boss, and it is a friendship soup mix, and you're supposed to add hamburger and tomatoes and water to it, and it's got like peas, lentils, barley, rice, and some bouillon and onion flakes. Anyway, I'm gonna make this for lunch today since it is cold and snowy out. We just finished listening to a sermon and discussing that, and this will take a little while to cook, but I'm gonna make this and probably make some type of bread to have with it. And thankfully we still have power, which is nice. Still snowing outside. There is a Chiefs game this afternoon, so we may venture out to our friend's house to watch that. We haven't decided yet. We'll see. We've got a few hours before then, so we'll see what it's like by then, but I'm gonna get this lunch started up.
Hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon, side by side and through, no limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I
for playtime together with you. Never mind, you're moldy.
I am playing.
Never mind, you're all moldy and stuff. Moldy.
Would you just want us the camera now so you're...
You got me on camera.
What? What are you doing?
I turned it up a little bit. I was like, then I look over and I'm like, oh!
The next morning for breakfast, I had used some of my sourdough discard to make some dough for some sourdough flatbreads. This is one of my kids' favorite things for me to make, and I do actually really enjoy these too, and so does my husband. They're very good. But they do take a little while to cook. I probably could speed this up if I used more than one pan, and next time I plan to do that, but as long as you have enough oil in your pan, I just use olive oil for mine. These cook up so fast and they raise really well, and they are just so delicious. The kids like to have theirs either with some butter and some honey on top, or sometimes we do butter and cinnamon sugar. I had mine on this day just with butter on it, and I think my husband had some with butter and honey. But this is just a quick breakfast that doesn't take a lot of prep work. The cooking time is the only thing that takes a little bit longer, but if I use 2 pans next time, it won't be too terrible, and it's an easy way to use up the discard that I have from my sourdough starter. right, lunch today is our easy lunch. I've got French fries. Gonna go in the oven. And then I also am gonna make chicken nuggets for the kids. And then for my husband and I am going to put some chicken strips that don't have breading on them in the toaster oven. I also just realized I forgot to feed my sourdough. It looks good. It smells delicious. So I'm gonna give it some food and water. I'm gonna try to fill it to this line here, so it would be about double, and then we'll see if it grows. It hasn't grown yet, but it does smell really good, so we're getting there. About ready to use it for bread. I used it this morning for those sourdough flatbreads. My sourdough grew. It was just barely under this second line here. It looks like it's not quite doubled yet, but it's close, and that's much more growth than I've had the last few times I fed it. So that's exciting. I'll be ready for some bread baking very soon. I need to research a bit on how to keep it in the fridge and bake bread with it, because I don't want to keep it out on the counter. I don't want to have to feed it every single day or use it every single day, but I do want to bake bread once or twice a week with it. So I did actually end up making bread twice in a row. I made one loaf the first time. I just decided that when I fed my starter that night, I would just make some dough that it could sit for the night and ferment on the countertop, and then I baked it the next morning. And it turned out fine. It all got eaten. Everyone enjoyed it. It was not as fluffy as I would like, and so I need to keep improving my starter so that I will get a little bit more of a fluff. I also, like I said, I am not particular with my sourdough. I know there are rules and should use a scale and not a cup and different temperatures and all of those things, but that is just too complicated for me. So I didn't do any of that. I did my way that I am used to doing, and I used half fresh ground flour, half whole wheat flour. That also could contribute to the less fluffy loaf of bread, but it was still delicious and everyone enjoyed it. I made another 2 loaves the next night, and I gave one to our neighbor as a thank you gift for taking care of our cat while we were gone to Colorado. And she did tell me last night that unfortunately her dogs ate the entire loaf of sourdough bread. They thought it was delicious, but she didn't get to enjoy any of it. So I told her I'll definitely be making her another one the next time I make bread. And then the second one, we ate half of it, and then I turned the other half into a French toast casserole for a breakfast potluck at church. And I really enjoyed that. I do have some left over in the fridge that I'm going to eat up, and it was so delicious. I may make that again, but I just wanted to use up that bread, and that was an easy way to do it. I have put my starter in the fridge now, and my plan is when I want to bake bread is to pull it out, take out the starter I need to bake with, and then feed it and stick it back in the fridge. And I think I'm gonna try that and see how well it works for making loaves, but that will be an easy way to maintain keeping my starter fed at least once a week and also getting to enjoy making that bread. For breakfast this morning, I made some ham, egg, and cheese omelets. I put some butter in my pan and cut up just some ham deli lunch meat, and then cooked that just a bit in the butter, and then I dumped in the eggs and added the cheese and folded it over, and this was a really yummy and fast breakfast. Lunch on this day, Carrington helped me make some sweet and sour meatballs with rice. This is a family favorite recipe that my friend gave me a long time ago, and I used to make it more often. I think we kind of burn ourselves out on it, but every time I make this, people are excited. No one complains. It's pretty easy, and I have figured out how to make it sugar-free. So I will use sugar-free ketchup and also some Swerve brown sweetener instead of the brown sugar. And then it doesn't have sugar in the sweet and sour sauce, and my husband and I enjoy that with our meatballs, and then the kids also like to have rice with theirs. And I think I made green beans to go with this. I only made one small can of green beans, and some kids like them, some don't, so it was about the perfect amount.
Morning has broken, my windows are open. Wanna feel the wind blow through my hair. Which way do I follow? What happens tomorrow? I turn to you and hope you can guide the way. Sometimes I give up, just wanna be on my own. Even in the darkest times, you give me hope. So I lean on you when I'm lost my way. I keep holding on for a better day. I lean on you when the world's astray. I left my heart open so you hear my prayer. I left my heart open so you hear my prayer. In times that are changing and when hope is fading, I know I can turn to your embrace. 'Cause there's so much beauty under your heaven, and I'm grateful every day. Sometimes I give up, just wanna be on my own. Even in the darkest times, you give me hope. So I lean on you when I'm lost my way. I keep holding on for a better day. I lean on you when the world's astray. I left my heart open so you hear my prayer. I left my heart open so you hear my prayer. I lean on you when I'm lost my way. I keep holding on for a better day. I lean on you when the world's astray. I left my heart open so you hear my prayer. I left my heart open so you hear my
You guys, if you have made it this far in the video, I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of our meals that we ate through our big winter storm here in Kansas City. We actually ended up with about 12 inches of snow, and everything was shut down for a day or two. We didn't go anywhere because the roads were so slippery and so icy, and it has just been cold, cold, cold since then. So I'm looking forward to warmer temperatures, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. It is supposed to continue to stay cold even into next week, and today is Monday. So over the weekend and into next week, it's supposed to be in the single digits here, which is so cold for Kansas City, but it won't last long, and then it will warm up again. Thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Have a blessed rest of your day. Bye-bye.